We're back at it again with the Fantasy Archetype review thing for What If Fantasy Archetype Support Yusei Fudo Arc 5. I butchered that title probably, but you know, the real thing's probably in the title somewhere. But anyway, it's created by S Code Knight, and odds are what I think it's going to do is be like, you know how Jack Atlas and Black Wings and all that stuff got support during Arc 5? What if Yusei did too? Now, Yusei did get support later on, and Yusei is a protagonist, so he's always going to get support. May not be for a while, but he's going to get it. We all know that as a fact. But what would have happened if he got Arc 5 style support? I assume it's going to be. But anyway, that's my prediction. This is going to be a long video anyway, so let's just get right into it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the multiverse. S Code Knight back at you with another What If support video.
Been a while since the last one.
This new one kind of came out of nowhere, especially considering at the time I'm making this, we're in the middle of the Pokemon Philosopher Marathon. But somewhere around this time, it's been Dookie Darkwolf's birthday.
Oh,
so
really?
As a little gift from moi, I thought it'd be nice to take a break from Pokemon and do a What If support video for some of his favorite cards. So yeah,
hey, that's
this is
nice.
for you, Nate. I know it's probably long gone after this point, but
especially with the time me going up. But you know what?
Here is a What If support video on
Happy birthday to Sean.
Cards.
Belated birthday, obviously.
For a bit of clarification, Yusei Fudo is the main antagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Antagonist? You mean protagonist, my dude?
Summoning. The deck itself specializes in the Synchron monsters, as well as Yusei's ace card, the Stardust Dragon. I decided to build this support around the fun idea of what if Yusei was in Arc 5? After all, his rival, Jack, was also in Arc 5, and had his own incarnation of his deck from 5Ds, including his ace
There is a theory as to why the other protagonists are in Arc 5, and it's a pretty fun theory.
That includes a handful of retreads,
but it's just like, dang, that's what we wanted to see, you know?
Dragon, a new Synchron monster with its own
there is Dark versus the old protagonist, which is still pretty cool.
Some extra support for the Scrap Iron Trap cards.
Really?
With that said, I am S Code Knight, and this is what
we'll
I
call
made
the Scrap Iron
Arc
stuff
5
as archetype, but it is what it is. Anyway, monsters. Nuts Bulge Mouse, a level 1 Earth monster. It has 400 attack and defense, is a machine effect monster, and its effect is if this card is in your GY, you can send one level 2 or lower machine Earth monster from your hand or deck to the GY, special summon this card from your GY, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Nut Bulge Mouse once per turn. I kind of forget Quillboat Hedgehog's a machine sometimes. I mean, I know it is, but it's like one of those where it's like, it doesn't look like one. But then again, there's a lot of cards that would be like, this doesn't look like this, but I also don't know what else it would be. I guess Beast, but it is what it is. It's fine. But what's funny with this thing is that this thing I could just see working with like Machina or something like that, you know? This doesn't have to be limited to just Quillboat Hedgehog, but it's obviously meant to work with Quillboat Hedgehog. The only thing could be better is if it was a tuner monster as well. Just be like, okay, you do this, you dump the Quillboat Hedgehog, especially when this tuner, and then Quillboat Hedgehog's like, I'm back, bitches. And then you can go into like Armory Arm or something. That would be pretty cool, but yeah, it is what it is. What is this fine? And you know what it is a lower level of Quillboat Hedgehog. Actually, I think this thing was level 1, so yeah. Actually, you know what, I'm just gonna break your immersion for a second. Yeah, it was level 1, alright. It is so, yeah, you wouldn't go into a Armory Arm, you'll go into a level 3, but the point is, it's a weaker Quillboat Hedgehog because it's up the Quillboat Hedgehog and allows you to do more plays. And if you got a Junk Warrior on it, and if you're able to go into Junk Warrior next, it'll gain 1200 attack points, which is baller. So yeah, good start. It's not to be limited to Quillboat Hedgehog as a sick instead of anything. Anyway, Sprint Warrior, level 2 Wind. Is a warrior effect monster with 900 attack, 300 defense. Try to be worse than Speed Warrior, I dare you. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card you control, or in your GY, target one synchro monster you control. Its attack is doubled during damage calculations only. You can only use this effect once per turn, or each effect once per turn. So yeah, pretty obviously better than Speed Warrior. Now that was hard. To be fair, this thing could just say, I have 1800 attack points. Boom, better than Speed Warrior. As a natural side, of course. But yeah, this thing has a good special summon condition. And obviously, any card that could just be like, yeah, you can special summon me quickly. That's good. And banishing it to double monster attack points. Great. It doesn't even have to be like a Junk Warrior or a Stardust or anything specific. It could just be like, it's just a Synchro monster. Job's done. Are you Synchro summoning? You're good. I think that this could easily go in the deck as if obviously you're playing junk monsters are going in like 2 or 3, but if you're just playing a generic synchro deck, this could go. You can put one of these in. I could see it, like maybe a side deck card. It's not bad. It's not bad. Diesel Synchron, level 3 Dark. I like that name. I imagine it would look like freaking Turbo Synchron or something, but it would be black like Diesel from Thomas the Tank Engine. But yeah, is a machine tuner effect monster with 1300 attack and 200 defense. If this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Synchron monster from your GUI to your hand. During your main phase, you can discard 1 card from your hand, especially 1 level 5 or lower Synchro monster from your GUI. You can only use each effect once per turn. So yeah, obviously a good start. If summoned, you can just add back like a junk synchron or a quick draw synchron or any of your synchron monsters. Obviously great. Hell, you could go into like Formula Synchron or Excel Synchron. I don't know why you would put them back, but you can. And which hey, if you're going to do something, you can do that again. I guess in Formula's case, you could put it back so that you could then synchro summon it back out and then get the draw effect. And this thing can also revive synchro monsters from the graveyard, and then probably use this to synchro summon with. So we're probably gonna get a Diesel Synchron later at some point. Diesel Warrior or Diesel Destroyer. Well, that sounds actually pretty kind of cool. I synchro summon Diesel Destroyer. Anyway, good, nice. It sounds cool, and yeah, whenever we get a new synchro monster, I'm always like, that's nice. But yeah. Good work. Sonic Eagle, level 2 Wind. I'm trying to imagine what some of these look like. I just imagine the frickin' Wind Beast logo or something, something like that, just to keep the Sonic Warrior low stats or small monster sort of thing. Anyway, it's a Winged Beast effect monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense. This monster cannot be destroyed by battle with monster with 1900 or more attack points, so it keeps that part from the Sonic check. That's nice. And if your opponent's monster directs an attack, I guess that's okay, so it orders an attack or declares a direct attack. I'm going to assume it means direct attack specifically, just because that makes more sense to me. You can special summon this card from your hand or GUI with its effect doubled, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so if you are attacked directly, you can special summon this thing with 2000 defense points, although if it still dies, it's gone for good. So a bit of junk defender in there as well, which is nice. And if the monster doesn't have more than 2,000 attack points, or it has exactly 2,000 attack points, you just got a monster in field for free. Although it'll still be banished, but that's a fair trade-off. If this card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Sonic Chick from your hand, deck, or from your hand or deck. You can only use each effect of Sonic Eagle once per duel. Alright. So on this thing's death or banishment, if you use the second effect, it can immediately replace itself with a Sonic Chick, which I do kind of like. Those cards are just like, okay, if I die, you can summon my baby version. Sort of like the assault modes, or Quasar can go into Shooting Star and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. It's also a little annoying, but it's kind of cool. Also kind of feels into the tricular, bicular, unicycular theme that Yusei had. Where their only effects were, I can summon the downgrade version, and that's it. But, yeah. I like that effect, and these are all once per duel, so like, I don't think the can't be destroyed by battle with 1900 or more attack points would be a once per duel, because that'd be kind of crap. But the rest being once per turn, once per duel would be like, that's pretty fair, yeah. And I guess since you don't activate the effect of the 1900 attack thing, it wouldn't apply. So it's one of those like, you're fine, you're fine. It's probably just me misinterpreting, but yeah, nice. I like it. Junk Spotter, level 4 Earth Monster. Warrior effect with 1600 attack and 1300 defense. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card from your hand, set 1 Scrap Iron Trap card from your deck, but you cannot activate it this turn. You can banish this card and 1 Scrap Iron Trap card from your graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can only use each effect of Junk Spotter once per turn. This is pretty good. You can just discard a card to set a Scrap Iron Scarecrow statue or some of the fan-made ones he's going to make up. Yeah. You can even set the Scrap Iron Signal, which is a counter trap one as well, so that would be really handy to set up. Anything that just be like, you could set a counter trap in the deck and be like, mwah. Also, yeah, that's just... you could just anything that lets you draw 2 cards is good. And the trap's fair. Like, banish it and a Scrap Iron, draw 2. That's good. That's good. I like that. So yeah, good work. I like this. Stardust Scout, level 1 light monster. A warrior tuner effect monster. I imagine this would look like a Stardust Charge Warrior or the other Stardust Assault Warrior, but like chibi. Something like that. It has 300 attack and 400 defense, and did I say it was a warrior tuner effect? Well, I'm saying it again just to be safe. If you control a synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you can special summon one level 4 or lower non-tuner monster from your graveyard. However, its level becomes 1. So this thing can help you go into like a Formula Synchron or a Stardust Assault Warrior or something like that. Which is handy, of course. Kind of wish this thing counted as a Majestic Dragon, but I guess that would be asking for a little much. We do have the Majestic Star Dragon support itself, so, you know, that's a fair enough trade-off individually. So, yeah, this thing just go. Plus, I shouldn't be asking for too much, to be fair. I shouldn't ask for the card to be broken. Not that it would be broken if it went into Majestic Star Dragon, but I don't want to ask for too much is the point. And anyway, the next effect is this card cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro summon a level 4 or lower synchro monster. Ooh, that's you'd have to go into Formula Synchron. I think Excel, and I think you can't go into Excel Synchron now because I'm pretty sure that's a level 5 monster. Pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But that means you're locked into like Armory Arm, Formula Synchron, and like obviously there's more than that. But I'm thinking of Yusei Fudo cards specifically, and those are the only ones that come to mind. Turbo Kid? No. But yeah, odds are you're probably only going to go into like the freaking Formula Synchron to get the draw effect anyway, and then to go into Shooting Star or Stars Assault or something like that. But hey, you know what? That's pretty dang good, and this is all pretty nice. So good work on this one, Xcode. And here, I'd obviously put one of these in my deck. I think I put all of them in my deck, but we'll see about that. I mean, I can't put any of them in a deck. They're not real. Synchro monsters. Stardust Wyvern, level 2 Wind. I should have guessed that he could make up some of his own synchros. That should have been obvious to me. Like, I knew there was going to be a Diesel Warrior, but anyway, let's get into the main thing. Is a Dragon Tuner Synchro Effect monster, which is also a Pendulum Ritual and Wyvern. I don't know, I mean, it takes 1 tuner or 1 plus or non-tuner. Forgot the 1, but we know what you mean. You can't make it any other way unless the friggin' Urzartix can make it, which that'd be the day. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 Stardust Dragon from your graveyard with its effects negated. Dang, this can help you go into frickin' Shooting Star in no time at all, or Stardust Charge, where, of course, if you don't make your own level 10, of course. Once per chain during your opponent's main phase, you can, quick effect, immediately after this effect is resolved, synchro summon using this card you control. If this card uses synchro material, you can draw 1 card. Okay. So this thing lets you synchro summon on your opponent's turn like Formula Synchron, and when it uses synchro material, it lets you draw a card, sort of like Tuning Wear in a way. Which means I think this thing would sort of like... I imagine like a baby Stardust Dragon, but it's got like the Tuning Wear pot on its head. It's just like adorable like that, you know? But yeah, so this thing just, if your Stars is dead, this thing can bring it back again and then help you go into a bigger monster, which is helpful. This is a good one for later in the duel, obviously, though you don't want to like start with this thing out, unless you already have Stars in the field, in which case you could probably do that, but at that point you just go for Formula Synchron, not this guy. But, you know, it's good. It's good. I like it. You put it at 1, obviously, but we're in the extra deck, so of course everything goes to 1, unless you're playing Pure or something. But anyway. Scrap Iron Warrior, level 5 Earth. So they're not just trap cards now, but also they're going to have them be monsters. Interesting. I wonder if this would be like sort of like a trap monster sort of design, or at least it would look like Scarred Warrior, but more metallic or something. Or maybe look, well, he can't look more robotic, so maybe like a rusted robot or something. That's something. Maybe it's more like a rusty sort of vibe to it. They're still machines, just, well, rusty, obviously. Anyway, this is a Warrior Synchro Effect monster with 2300 attack and 2100 defense. Got a Guy of the Fierce Knight needs from stats there. Nice. It takes 1 tuner plus non-tuner. How many? I guess 1 or more. We'll just assume. If this card is synchro summon, you can target 1 level 2 or lower monster in your GY. Equip this card to it. This card gains attack equal to the attack of the equipped monster. I think you got that wording a little mixed up, because what that means is, okay, we're gonna use an example. I sent Quillboat Hedgehog to the graveyard earlier with that other this thing. So I'm gonna have this thing and revive the Quillboat Hedgehog. Then this thing attaches onto the Quillboat Hedgehog, and then it gains attack points. And then this Scrap Iron Warrior will gain attack points while in the spell or trap zone. I think obviously what he meant was to say was he summons it, and then the Quillboat Hedgehog would equip it like an equipped spell, and then they get stat. That's obviously what he meant to be like, but I like shitting on people when it's completely unnecessary. Because I'm an arsehole. But yeah, other than the typo, which is like, okay, it could get stronger depending on how strong level 2 in the graveyard is, obviously. So it's a bit of a smaller scrap junk warrior, but you know what? The fact that it doesn't need to be on field and can give it its own effect equipment makes it better. Well, arguably, because junk warrior does have some equipped cards, or some signature cards. It's got Scrap Face, which is a damn good signature attack card. So, yeah. Anyway, if this card will be destroyed, you can destroy the equipped monster instead. Obviously, yeah. Which is always handy. It's got a bit of a union protection effect there, which is nice. So, yeah, it's obviously a good card overall. It's just, I like, wording was bad, but other than that, it's good. So, yeah. Diesel Warrior. Predicted this. A level 7 Earth Monster. Maybe that was 8. I'm just going to go back and double check. The immersion is ruined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, no, it wasn't 8. I was wrong. It was a dark, though. I was right about that. Anyway, it is a machine synchro effect monster with 2800 attack and 2200 defense. Takes 1 synchron monster plus 1 or more non-tuners. Interesting thing about, well, it doesn't say 1 or more, but I'm just going to assume it meant that. The interesting, I imagine S-Code made some of this in a hurry, because I don't blame S-Code too much for this, considering he's got to pump it out before Duke's birthday, so yeah, I gave a couple things a pass. So yeah, but the interesting thing about this is it doesn't need Diesel Synchron specifically. It just needs a Synchron monster. So you can make this thing with Junk Synchron if you want to, or Quillboat Synchron, or Road Synchron if you really hate yourself. But yeah, which gives it the most variety of all of the Synchro monsters. I imagine if you use this thing with Diesel Synchron, you would get like some bonus effects, sort of like how if you summon the Chaos Xyz monster with their roar numbers specifically, you get a bonus effect, but we'll find out as we read the thing. Once per battle phase, if this card destroys a monster by battle, you can reduce the attack of all other monsters your opponent controls by that destroyed monster's attack. If you do, this card can attack twice this battle phase. That's pretty dang good. So if this thing runs over Dark Magician, just to give an example, all of their monsters will then lose, all the opponent's monsters will then lose 2,500 attack points. And you can attack a second time. But a Nitro Warrior in there. That's nice. And usually doesn't have a lot of cards that decreases the opponent's stats. So that makes it good as well. So, nice. That's a good, unique thing for them to do. Excuse me. Now, during your opponent's turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, have all the attacks your opponent's controlled, loses 400 attack points. Okay. So, I assume that's going to activate every time they special summon a monster, because it didn't say once per turn or something like that. But, so that means every time they're special summoning, their monsters are getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And what do you mean they summon Amazon Swordswoman? Fuck me! But yeah, you're going to punish them for special summoning and constantly. Oh god, that is going to screw over like Crow and Jack and a good chunk of the 5Ds gang, honestly, except Luna because her deck already sucks, so she can't synchro spam. So, if anything, Luna might be able to beat this thing, ironically. I don't know how, but she might. But yeah, Yusei doesn't have a lot of cards that punish the opponent. So, then there's a frickin', what's a level 7? Not Junk Destroyer, Junk something. But yeah, there's a big level 7 thingamafudge. I'm gonna freaking not kill myself for that. It's just gonna do the thing. Breaking the fourth wall here. Your immersion was already ruined. Level 7 Synchro. I spelled Synchro wrong. I'm very professional. No, not that one. I said Drunk Berserker, okay? With this guy. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Drunk Berserker. Okay? I hope that showed up. If not, sorry. I got the screen thing. But yeah, Drunk Berserker. That thing can also reduce opponents' attack points, stuff like that. But other than him, I think he's the only one. So, it's unique support that Yusei doesn't have naturally. So, yeah. Oh. Dog walked in and surprised me. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, shall we? It's a good card and it's worth playing. Shooting Stardust Dragon. I'm gonna pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay, it's a level 8 wind monster. I imagine this thing would sort of like be a chibier Stardust Dragon, or something like Shooting Riser Dragon. Anyway, it's a Dragon Synchro Effect monster with 2500 attack and 2100 defense. So we're going pure Dark Magician stats on this one, being more true to that one. Because when we say Dark Magician stats, never forget, it freaking none of the other protagonist ace monsters have 2100 defense. Although that's probably just to be more, symmetrical, or whatever the word is. 2000 sounds less awkward than 2100. But anyway, it takes one tuner plus one or more non-tuners. So you could make this thing with more than one tuners, of course. Which could be fix that thing, of course. Sorry. This card is always treated as Stardust Dragon while face up on the field or in the GY. So it's a Stardust Dragon retrain specifically. Which, Stardust Dragon is a good card, don't get me wrong. It's just like we could use a little more. I'm not saying Stardust Dragon's a bad card, far from it. I'm just saying I like retrains. And we've got a lot of Stardust Dragons that don't count as Stardust Dragons. Stardust Spark Dragon should be treated as Stardust Dragon, prove me wrong. Once per turn, you can negate all face-up monsters your opponent controls. This card gains fire type for each monster negated by this effect at the end of the turn. You don't even sacrifice this thing for it, just be like, okay, once per turn, no. It just negates all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So I guess it just negates their effects, so it's like, imagine if the opponent has 3 normal monsters, what does it just do? Just give up? And it's gaining fire attack for each. If your opponent has a board of 6 monsters, this thing just gained 3,000 attack points. Obviously, it's work to get out 6 monsters, but if they manage to, they are going to be in for some punching time. Although it does kind of remind me of the final attack during Zone when stars kept getting powered up by all the monsters in the graveyard. It's probably something like that. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And they'll get their effects back in phase, but then that's going to be a finishing move or something like that, or something you do early game to try to end the duel as quickly as possible. So that's bitchin'. Cosmic Stardust Dragon is a wind monster with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars. Gotcha. Alright, I figured you were going to make your own level 10. That was kind of obvious, but still cool to see. Is a Dragon Synchro Effect monster with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. Your blue-eyed stats on this one. Or antagonist ace or rival ace stats, because that's actually one thing most of the rivals get right. Their monsters have 2,500 defense as well. Well, actually, no. Red Dragon Archer has 2,000 as well. It varies. It's not a 1-to-1 every time. Hell, and Rush ones are like 2,500 will be ours, but let's not get into that. Let's focus on the card itself. It takes 1 Synchro Tuner plus non-tuner Synchro monster. Just gonna ignore that grammar. It must be Synchro Summoned and cannot be special in other ways. No monster reborning. If this card is Synchro Summoned, negate all face-up cards your opponent controls. But what if the Stardust Retrade just negate them? Now they're double negated? Your opponent cannot activate card effects in response to this effect's activation. Of course not, you just negate them all. Well, I guess your opponent tries to like Bottomless or Solemn or something. So, yeah. Once during either turn, if your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect / skill, so we're evolution proofing this, you son of a gun. Quick effect, you can negate the activation if you do. Banish this card, all copies of that card from your opponent's hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only control 1 face-up Cosmic Stardust Dragon. Damn. So on Synchro Summon, your opponent's field of all face-up cards just negated. No more of that. And you can't stop me from doing that. And if you activate a spell, trap, monster, or monster effect or skill, I go bye-bye, and all your copies of that card go with me. Wait. Oh wait, okay, no, it doesn't sacrifice itself to do that. It just negates it outright. It just says no, and makes them all. It is gonna straight up fucking called by the great, freaking nobleman of Crossout, that bitch, or whatever the freaking Crossout designator. It's gone, and all copies of it with it. Change the spell, change its appearance, all that crap. They're all gone. Goodbye. No second trial. The end. It is the weakest of level 10 synchro monsters, probably, in terms of stats, but in terms of effects, damn. Although, I don't know if I play the frickin' who am I kidding? I'm play Clear Mind, all this crap. What am I saying? Spells and traps. Junk Road, a normal spell card. Special summon one Synchron monster from your graveyard, or if you control a Synchron monster, special summon one level 2 or lower machine, warrior, or dragon non-tuner monster from your graveyard instead. You can only use one Junk Road per turn. Okay, so it varies depending on your situation. If you have nothing or a low-level monster, or you can special summon a Synchron monster from your graveyard, anything really. But if you already control a Synchron monster, you can special summon one with friends instead, which is handy because if you have one that isn't Junk Warrior, or you do have Junk Synchron, or if you do have the Junk Synchron and he needs another friend to go into another material thing, that's handy as well. Or if you just want to bring back the Kobold Hedgehog, and then you could have the Junk Warrior and have it have some decent stats, or the Scarred Warrior or something like that, or the Scarred Iron Warrior. Scarred Iron Warrior, that was it. So yeah, handy. I like that. It has varied situations that could be helpful, but either way, it's going to be helpful. So yeah, good work there. Synchron Quick Fix. Quick Play spell. Target one monster you control and one level 3 or lower tuner monsters from your graveyard. You can activate one of the following effects. First, summon that tuner monster from your graveyard that's effects negated, or have your targeted monster gain attack equal to that tuner monster's attack. You can only use one Synchron Fix per turn. Kind of like that quick play spell, I think it's like Battle Tuned or something, that lets you banish tuner monster from your graveyard, and then one monster you control gains attack equal to that tuner monster attack. It's one of those cards I've always wanted to put in a deck just because it's like, imagine using it with one of the freaking higher level synchro monsters, like the freaking level 8 bitch, double extra dragon or whatever, and just be like, I am now God, bitch. Bow before me. Just send it to the graveyard like Foolish Barrow and then just be like, GG. But yeah, this thing is pretty alright, I guess. You have to already control. Wait, target one monster you control and okay, no, yeah. So it could bring back the tuner monster from. It could bring back that tuner monster, but yeah, it could bring back the tuner monster with the effects negate, and you can use the synchro summon, or you can have the monster you already control gain the attack points. So if you got like a star or a dragon on the field, you could have it gain Junk Synchron's attack points, for example. So that's cool. It has a variety of uses, and both of them are pretty decent. I don't think it's as good as the last one, but I can see it being played as a 1 or 2 lift. Synchron Sanctuary, continuous spell. With anything like that, you think it'd be a field spell. I was just imagining like on the car, it would just be like a junkyard or something, or like a scrapyard or something, or just like some assembly line where they're just trying to like fix up, like an auto mechanic shop or something like that, you know? If this card is activated, add one Synchron monster from your deck or GY to your hand. But keep getting back from the GY. I know why. Recycling, and that's something that Yusei was focusing on. Recycling his cards and getting them back. I just noticed a lot more here, is the point. Your opponent can activate card effects in response to a Synchro summon that involves a Synchron monster. Handy, very good. Good to have, give yourself protection. I think the Starlight Junction thing has a similar thing. That's Junction with a K. We're going to Google it for the record. But, something similar. I think it was just Synchro Summon in general. But it's good to have another one that can give you some protection. Okay, during your main phase, you can target one Synchro monster you control. It gains 300 attack for each tuner monster in your GY. You can only use each effective Synchron Sanctuary points per turn. And Jack just comes in and be like, yo, why are you stealing my Red Nova's gimmick? We're not. This is 300 attack. It's completely different. But yeah, doing something that gives your Synchrons even more attack points, and wait a minute, it's not during your main phase, it's during your main, please. Please let me activate this effect. I'm begging you. Don't MST it. No. But I wonder if that's like not a once per turn, so it's like you have if you go imagine synchro climbing with this thing, their monster just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Legit that Stardust Dragon final attack thing as I talked about versus Zone. Dang. And what about the ones that are already in the field? Are they going to get bigger as well? Or are they just like, I'm sorry, you synchro someone when I had 2 in the graveyard. You don't get the stats when there was 3. No. They'd all go up together like a solidarity sort of thing in a way, but yeah. That's pretty good for getting your monster to be big. And honestly, just activate, the first line attack is what you just be like, you play it regardless. It's a search. You win. You're going in the deck. Everything else is just extra. Scrap Iron Doll, continuous trap. If this card is activated, especially when one Scrap Iron Doll trap from your deck as a monster. So it's a trap that summons a trap from the deck. It's a machine dark level 2 tuner monster with 0 attack or defense. It's sort of like a Shape Sister. Something like that. I think we meant to be like switching this card as a trap monster, or because it's another copy of itself just sounds weird. Also after that, set this card face down so that it's saying, okay. So I'm misinterpreting. Okay, so what this thing does is you activate this, and then you activate another copy of it from the deck, and then which would be counted as a monster, and then you reset this thing so you can do that again. But you can't do that forever because you're gonna run out of material unless you run out of draw average. You only do this thing at most twice. Because after that, you can't do the third time because you don't have any more copies. Assuming you don't, of course, brick in all 3 copies or 2 or something like that. But obviously, we're not going off that. If you open the 2 or 3 of these things, you're fucked. Because the thing is only supposed to come from the deck. But I guess it's the price you pay. So, it's better than Scrap Iron Statue, but that's not a high bar to pass. Although Scrap Iron Scarecrow is one of those cards that still gets me this day. Just be like, I'm going to attack Scrap Iron Scarecrow. You mother... I can't believe you just hit me with that. Well, I did, so deal with it. But, yeah, summoning the tuner monster from the deck, it's pretty good, but I'd honestly probably just play Shape Sister, but that's just me. Okay. Shape Sister can't reset herself, I guess the trade up, but then again, she also just leaves. Like, again, me talking personal preference. Scrap Iron Blaster, normal trap. Select one monster your opponent controls, have its attack, and negate its effect to the end of the turn. Also after that, set this card face down, send it to the graveyard. So it's sort of like a Lost Wind in a sense, except this thing will banish it, go to the graveyard and banish itself. Wait, no, it will, because this isn't a continuous trap. Oh, wait, no, it does, because it's just going to set itself again. Mind you, you've already activated this turn, so you can't use the good god, imagine if you could. But it's a Lost Wind that sticks around. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be a junk card. People will just put this thing in the deck regardless, because if people are playing Lost Wind, they're going to put this in the deck, duh. Yo, do people still play Lost Wind? Yeah, there's probably a couple of people. There's always that one guy. There's always that one guy. Or gal. Or pal. I don't know. Anyway, point is, good card. I can see it being used by actual players. Nice one. Scrap Iron Fortress. Continuous trap. Oh, this is the consequence for all the shorter stuff earlier. You can activate this card from your hand by sending 2 or more face-down trap cards to control the graveyard. This thing is Uriah-ing this son of a bitch. This thing thinks it's Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. So it takes 2. First summon this card from your hand as a monster. It is a Machine Earth level 8 monster with 3,000 attack and defense. Jeez, this thing is going Gear Golem on our asses. This card gains 300 attack for each Scrap Iron trap card in your graveyard. Okay, so that means that if you have 2 of the Scrap Iron things on the field, and you send them to the graveyard, this thing's coming to the field with 3,600 attack points from the get-go. Which honestly, for an opening move, not too bad, especially in role plays or Yu-Gi-Oh fan shows. That's a pretty solid start. Sure. I don't know how good it would be in the main thing, but still, damn, that's a power move. Just be like, okay, you did your combo. Okay, my turn. I set 2 cards face down and sacrifice them both for this thing. your move, gamer. And you can't really negate me because just like all I did was summon a trap card. Although you are activating from the hand, so you can still be Ash Blossomed, I guess, but it's either if you're like Ash Blossom, this thing has not Ash Blossom, Effect Failure, but even if you're Effect Failure, this thing has 3,000 attack as a base stats. Good luck! Of course, it can still be negated, but because it's being activated, not summoned, but still. The point is, anyway, let's keep reading. During your end phase, you can set one Scrap Iron Trap card from your GUI, or tribute this card, especially when one Synchro monster with the same level as this card from your GUI. You'll use each effective fortress once per turn. Sort of like a turret warrior in a way it reminds me of. I mean, that's probably a bit of a stretch, but that's just me. This thing could trade itself out to summon a Stardust Dragon, Colossal Fighter, or anything at level 8 or lower. Well, actually, no, level 8 unless we're fucking with this guy's level with Level Eater. Probably should make a Level Eater. Maybe there's a part 2. Ever. But yeah, you're screwing with this thing's level, you could also trade out for some other Synchro monsters. And it's special if it's a Synchro monster in general. It doesn't have to be Junk, Synchro, Stardust, or Red Dragon Archfiend, any of that crap. I don't know why it would be Red Dragon Archfiend, but for example, it could just be any Synchro in general. You could make Blackwing Dragon with this. I don't know why you would, but you could. Which is handy, so it's got bonus effects during the end phase. And the fact that it says Scrap Iron Scarecrow, it is weakening itself, but it's kind of worked in some regards. If you could just reset that signal or that Scrap Iron Scarecrow, it's not bad. Well, we probably wouldn't be playing Scrap Iron Scarecrow if we were playing competitively, but for fun, of course. So yeah, good one. Honestly, I like it solely for the visual of like, okay, I set 2 cards face down, and your move. Obviously, that's not a good call, but just come on, that's the power move. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Stardust Trail, normal trap. If your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, and you control a Stardust Synchro monster, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Then equip that monster to one Stardust Synchro monster you control. The equipped monster gets attack equal to its level times 100. That's worth 1,000? Yeah, probably not. If this card is sent to the GUI, you can special summon one Stardust Dragon from your graveyard. You use each effective Stardust Trail per turn. Okay. So, if you control a Stardust Synchro monster, any of them, including the ones that the S-code just made up, you can negate the activation and equip whatever the card was to it, and it'll gain attack points. I'm going to assume that it's equipping based on the card you equipped's level, or maybe the own Stardust Dragon that you controlled. Because if it gains attack, I assume based on the level of the Stardust that you control, because it's a spell or trap card, it's not going to matter what its level is. Also, there's more than levels nowadays. I know why we're doing that because we're keeping on the Synchro theme, but not all monsters have levels anymore. So if it's the Stardust monster gaining attack points equal to its own level, like if the Stardust Dragon gains 800 attack points, that'll make it good for a lot of circumstances. Although that will be a bit of a pain if your opponent summons a Quasar or something, and you're just like, no, but I'm only going to get 800 attack points. It's a bit sad, but that's the consequence you gotta pay, it's not the other way around. Also, if this thing is blind MST, you just get a free Stardust monster. It's a shame it's from the graveyard, not from the and not from the extra deck as well. I know that's probably asking for a bit much, because then you'd be like that dragon dwelling in the cave thing, or like the snake in the grass thing. You know, the one where you get blind MST and boom, last warrior from another planet. But yeah, I kind of wish that was the case, but hey, you know, it's fine. There's a consequence to the action. Plus, who blind MSTs anymore? Not a lot of people. Some. There's always that one guy. So yeah, not too shabby. Good work. No situational, so I still only play one.
And with that, that's another What If support video done. Happy birthday, Dookie. It's thanks to lads like you I am still able to keep going on YouTube. I hope you like these. With that said, I'm S-Code Knight, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah, Dookie's always made some great stuff. And not all of them have been great, but, you know, there's been a lot of it has been. It still baffles the mind how he unintentionally created a universe based on a bunch of guys going around exploring the world. But hey, you know what? We're talking about a franchise that started by a bunch of kids going around playing card games. Well, it started with a bunch of mini-game plays like ancient Egyptian puzzle and all that stuff, but, you know, it's just amazing what becomes a franchise, you know? Yeah. Here's a comic book about a guy in Spanish going around and punching bad guys in the face. Let's make an entire universe based off of it. And the best part about that sentence is, you don't know which one I'm talking about. Because See, but I don't. I don't know what the first superhero is. Probably Superman, but I can't prove that. But anyway, yeah, Dookie made a lot of great stuff, and these are some great support for him. Shame we can't use them in, well, shame we can't use them in the main Dragon verse, of course, but I imagine if, you know, he somehow showed up in the YDU or something like, or maybe there was a crossover or something, he'd probably play these dang cards or something. Like if there was a YDU version of Dookie version of Dookie, I should say, not Dookie Darkwolf, that's different, that's, but yeah, if there was a YDU version, he would totally play these cards, I imagine. Well, assuming anyway, because Dookie doesn't always play the Stardust things, just it's what we associate him with, but he's also played like Salamangreats, Rockets, a bunch of other stuff, you know. So he's not tied down to solely that, just that's his go-to deck and all that jazz, or one of his favorite decks. Obviously, me, I play more than just Battling Boxers, but everyone knows me as the Battling Boxer guy. I wonder why. But yeah, so these are some good cards, and I can honestly see them all being used at some point. And yeah, I imagine that Zuki is pleased to have them, and I hope he had a happy birthday. He's gonna have a better one than I had. I'm kidding, I'm just pissing. I'm just taking the piss. But anyway, yeah. Good stuff, and yeah. I'll probably link Dookie in the description, and check him out if you haven't already, obviously. Please go check out Dookie, his content's far better than mine. And that's not saying much, but still. Go watch Age of the Gods, it's great. Especially Season 2. But anyway, yeah. Good work. Yeah, all I got the usual stuff, so good work, glad I checked it out, and other than the typos, it was fine, so I can see these being good, and they're good. Maybe this will be a thing going forward when he's done with the Pokemon stuff, I don't know, or when he needs to take a break between chapters, who knows. Either way, Pokemon next week, and I'm just stalling out the video timer so I can put more ads on here, just kidding, later.